Hey everyone, this is Pooja Chilukuri once again with another episode of the Afterlife podcast. I'm very honored and very excited for my guest today, Patrice Krysztofiak. Patrice is a medical intuitive and an energy healer, and he has an incredible journey of how he discovered his spiritual gifts. So, without wasting any more time, I'm going to let Patrice take it away and tell us his story. Patrice, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Pooja. This is wonderful. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so happy. So I just want to correct, I'm not a healer. People heal themselves. Uh, what I do is very different. I'm an energy channeler. This is what I bring, the energy that help you clean the dark energies in your body so you can heal yourself. This is very different.
Yes, so thank you so much for pointing that out, Patrice, because I hear you. You know, we have the ability in us, but sometimes it takes someone to bring that out in us. Yes.
Yes, exactly. This is exactly it. I'm helping people to reach the point where they can heal themselves and understand how the body can regenerate itself, because actually it does.
Yeah.
From easy, simple wounds, like if you cut your finger, it will regenerate itself, but it also works the same way for other organs or anything else, even grief or trauma. You can actually heal yourself if you know how to get there, but we forgot. We
Yes.
forgot because we are too busy in this consumerism life. Buy, shop, 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 TV, 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 drive, drive, drive.
Yes. It's your gifts, you know, though when I was reading about them, I have to tell you, I was just stunned. And the way you discovered it. So please share with us how that came about.
Okay, so I had a normal childhood. I was just a normal kid. I was just programming video games and stuff like that. I really always loved programming. So I always had a monastic style of life. I would say this was my meditation. I did not realize. I realized that only a few weeks ago. Like I've been basically meditating for 40 years without knowing, because I would write software alone and in silence. So it was 40 years of silence meditation. And then life goes on. I built my company. I was building websites, and eventually I got sued for a website I built, and I got traumatized from it. It was very hard because I had an interview with the police and things like this. It was like I was a dangerous criminal just from a website. For a guy who never had parking ticket, it's very traumatic because you have
Mhm.
interviews like on TV. Call your lawyer.
Yeah.
And so I risked $300,000 of fine and 3 years of jail for that website. Well, what I did not understand is just it's really text for dangerous criminals. So
Mhm.
it's I did not really risk this, but this is just how the law is. This is what you risk. I did not understand. This is not what I risk, but anyway. And I reached a total state of depression. I was so depressed. And my mom passed away at the same moment, so I had a double whammy. And I didn't know what to do. I was so depressed. Every day for months and months, I would go to bed and I was hoping not to wake up the next day. So I was 50 years old,
Mhm.
and I didn't know what to do. Every night I said, please, please, please don't wake up, because I didn't want to go to court. I didn't want to go to
Mhm.
jail. I had no more. I did not have that amount of money to pay the fine. I did not know how I would do it. That's when my guitar teacher said, Patrice, you should start meditation. That would help you. Uh, Note for the viewers, my wife asked me to do meditation. I did not listen to her, so please listen to your wife.
Good advice.
And so I did. And after a few weeks of meditation, uh, I found a meditation. It's an app in French. It's like Calm in the US. This one was called Zenfi. And there's a meditation called Monkey Mind. And I
Mhm.
said, oh my God, I'm in the loop. I'm going to get sued. I'm going to jail. I'm going to get sued. I'm going to jail. I was, because I did not know what was going on with the police and the lawyers and everything. If you don't talk about what's going on, so your imagination is your worst enemy in that kind of situation. And the monkey brain was like completely insane. So I did this meditation, monkey mind. And at some point in the meditation, it was a guided meditation. The guy says, now think about everything you want. And I entered into the light for like 20 seconds. I was surrounded by light and love. It was like what people describe in NDE. I entered into the light.
Yes.
And I was so happy, surrounded with love. I was laughing so hard. And my wife came and said, what happened? Did you take drugs or something? Well, we don't do drugs, so we didn't have any. And said, no, I entered into the light, and that was magnificent. So that was it for this episode. And I was like, whoa, something happened. But something shifted in me at that point. I still did not know what the police and the lawyers were talking about. And I said to my wife, we can't stay here. It was like I was trapped in jail in my own house.
Mm-hmm.
I need a change of scenery. So we went to Portugal. And that is where I met an energy worker. Actually, it's a lady from Nepal. She trained with the monks. She's a Tantra priestess, but the real deal, not the Occidental Tantra. That's, okay, you get me. So it was a lot of breath work, stretching, be in the present moment, be grounded. There was also massage and stuff like that. But I did not know she did that at the time because I just went there for a regular massage. And one day I felt a shockwave of energy on my body. It was like a ripple of static electricity that went poof, and I vomited energy. It just went, whoa! And I said, "What's that?" And she said, "I got it." And I did not realize what it was at that point. It was like the dark energy I had in my body from all that stress, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, I started to see little pictures when people touched me on them, like little emojis, like a smiley or a heart if they were happy or in love, or a mask if they were lying. I was like, "Oh, what's that? That's cool!" Like little holograms on people. I totally embraced the journey. So eventually, we went back to France, and my wife was sick for many, many years, like more than 10 years, and nobody could figure out what she had.
Mm-hmm.
And I told to my wife, we should do a ritual like Daniela, the lady in Portugal, does to try to see if we can heal you. Honestly, we were just goofing around with energy. We had no idea. But our intention was so pure that actually it worked. I did breath work. I did breath of fire on her belly because she had like belly problems and lung problems. And I got a flash. So, oh my God, what's this? I saw a picture, like a clairvoyance. It's like my clairvoyance activated that day. And I did not understand it. And poof, second picture, I said, oh my God, I have to go on Google. And I typed something on Google Image, and it's like the query was exactly what I saw in my visual. And I said, this is what you have. You have a parasite. It's called ankylostoma, and it's hitting your lungs. So we got a doctor appointment, and we were so lucky. Honestly, we were so lucky. This was during a lockdown episode. We did that online on Zoom, and in France, they never do doctor appointments on Zoom at that time. So now they do, thanks to COVID. And we said to the doctor, this is what my wife has. She has this parasite. And they did not ask for any lab tests, which was just incredible. I was like, how can they give us a prescription without any lab test? It was like the universe planned it all. So we ordered the medicine, we got it. She took the medicine, she healed. Her lungs got healed, she could breathe better. Her digestive system was healed. That was my first medical intuitive experience. So the vocabulary they used to communicate with me was with pictures, because of course I don't have the medical vocabulary. So they try to the universe or God or whatever you want to call. They send me the message in a way I can understand and transmit them to the client or the person. This is absolutely incredible. So I was very curious. I went to see other energy healers. I did not know that word at all before 50 years old. I had never heard about the word Reiki or anything, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
We are not religious either. We never went to church or anything. This is important for the rest of the story. And then I said, oh, I'm going to try on our friends. And so we have a friend who limps, but who limped. And I said, I'm going to do a session on you, and I did. And I was seeing a movie in my head when I was working on his leg. I don't know what happened. I was like doing on his leg. I was just goofing around again. And the guy started coughing, and he said, "Oh my God, I have taste of blood in my mouth." And the movie I was seeing in my head, it was him in another life kicking somebody in the head. I said, "Oh my God, you kicked somebody in the head in a past life, and you are reliving this, but from the other person point of view." And then he went, and he had tears running. He said, "Oh my God, I have tears, but I'm not sad, I'm not crying. What's going on?" So that was it. And then he gets off the massage table where I would do my little thing, and the guy does not limp anymore. His limp is gone, and the guy's like 60 years old. He had that for his whole life. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? This is when I started to get interested into reincarnation and past lives and things like this. And I realized this was true. It's like I had no background in this, so I had to do the research over where I did not study this to get to this point. I got to this point and I studied it afterwards. Then I had a lady, she had fibroids, and I did a session on her and I did a mistake. And for me, that was a very big day in my journey of energy work. So I did like kind of Reiki with my hands and stuff like that. And for the first time, I could feel the energy in my hand. It had a texture and a volume. I could feel it. It was that refined. It felt like a gummy bear in my hand, but it was like this big. And I was pulling the energy to remove it from her belly. And I touched her belly by accident, and the energy shot through my hands, and I had a burn mark in my hands. And I said, oh my God, energy is real. This is what the lady in Portugal told me. Don't goof around with energy. This is very, very, very serious. She says, take your precaution, protect yourself. And I had no idea. I was thought, yeah, okay, it's just energy. Occidental, white man, French, doesn't know anything. The ego mind, this is just all fake. No, I had a burn mark, I have a picture, but it was absolutely crazy. And I lost my eyesight for 2 minutes. There was so much energy, I became blind for 2 minutes. My eyesight was red. I was only seeing red. And I received a message, Patrice, go outside in your garden, go touch a rock. We have a gigantic rock in our garden. And I touched it. So I was touching the wall to go outside. And I touched the rock and I felt this discharge of energy leaving my body and going down to the earth like, woof. It was like, whoa. And then my eyesight came back. And then I got, put your hands under cold water. And this is when my eyesight turned green. And I said, oh my God, this is Archangel Raphael. This is what people are talking about. I knew it was him. I didn't have a visual, but I knew it was Archangel Raphael. So this lasted like 5-6 minutes. Then I go back to the lady. And then I was like, whoa. On the news, sometimes there is a translation for hard of hearing people. It's like the hand gesture in the corner. I had this in the corner of my vision, but it was mudras. It was like this. And they were explaining to me, if you do this type of work with your hands, you have to use these mudras. And I had the built-in documentation to continue the session on the woman. We're like, oh my God, this is so cool. I don't even have to study. People study mudras. I didn't even know mudras at that time. I did not even know what that was. So I was like, I'm so lucky. I didn't study anything. I have the built-in documentation. That was mind-blowing. So I continued my journey. I went to see other energy workers. I said, what's going on with me? Am I crazy? Because I thought I lost it at some point, honestly. I'll be honest with you. If I'm completely out of my mind, what's going on? And they said, no, Patrice, but with you it's different because most people are afraid when they discover this world for real, but you are totally embracing the journey you want to explore. And this is absolutely incredible. And that's true, I was not afraid. It was like I knew it was natural. This is something I've already done before, probably in another incarnation somewhere else, or many other incarnations. And I'm starting to remember what I learned in other lives. So I explored the journey a little longer. I said, does this work remotely? I was wondering, does this work remotely? Because I'm very curious. I like to explore. And I could not find anybody who would like to try it on the internet. And eventually I found a forum in the US. I found 10 people. And I said, don't tell me what you have. Don't tell me your name. Don't tell me if you're a man or a woman. I'm going to use the nickname of the forum. So this is what I did. But I could not get anything. This was very, very difficult. Then I started meditating more and more. I said, I can get it. And then I started to get the first person in a dream, like Edgar Cayce. This is basically what people talk about with Edgar Cayce. It was exactly the same thing. I did not know Edgar Cayce at the time. I would get a full lucid dream, like I was navigating inside our body, seeing the organs, seeing what was wrong. So I would describe it was full HD, like a hologram, full HD, like a MRI machine, but even better quality because you are inside the body of the person. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. So I would tell people, this is what I saw. I say, yeah, this is the disease I have. What you describe is exactly this. So I use my words, of course, because I did not know all the name of the disease and stuff like that. I did not study medicine. But then something happened with a kid. It was a kid with lung disease, and I had a 7 hours lucid dream. I was exhausted, honestly, after this dream. And I wrote everything down, but the thing is that there were energies working on his lungs. And then I saw a little guy in green, and it was Archangel Raphael. I am sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulled like a, so it's metaphors, of course. He pulled the sword out of the lungs of the kid. It was a little boy, and they could not figure out what he had. So the parents sent me a message with a forum, blah blah blah. I said, "This is what I saw." A few days later, the kid was healed miraculously, just via energy work like this. So of course it was not me; I was dreaming. But it started something. It started a process. Uh, this is when I did not know I was doing energy channeling because I did not know that word. I did not know the channeling word.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and now I know. I've learned that like only a few months ago because this journey was so fast for me. So I can open a channel in my body, and since all the humans are connected, I can bring energy to the person who needs it. So I deliver the energy they need, and it transits via my body. So I get somatic effects from this. This is why sometimes if people are sick, I vomit actually. If you've seen the movie The Green Mile,
Yes.
it's exactly the same thing. This movie is actually based on a true story. I realized I was like, oh my God, this was a true story. Of course, there are these special effects with flies and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Oh, that's exactly what I thought of when I was reading about your work, that movie, The Green Mile. Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and then I found other people like me. I'm not alone. It's like we are so many, but we are so hard to find.
Yes. Which
And
is
people are,
why I love that you're coming on and sharing, Patrice. Yes. There is so much in your story that I want to unpack. I hope I did not interrupt you. Please continue. I'll ask my questions later, but I want you to finish first.
oh, okay, so okay, that's fine. So I continued doing my healing journey, trying to find people to heal, which is actually very difficult because people are afraid of this world. Or they think it's fake. It's like, yeah, just woo-woo stuff. Which I'm okay with it. It's like, just fine. But for the people who accept it, then something happened. I started to see ascended masters during the healing process. Sometimes some beings would show up. So I made a list because I forget all the time.
Yeah.
The first one I saw was Buddha. He came many, many times. And this is when the lady in Portugal who actually activated me and did the massage, she actually became my mentor. And she thought I was making this up. I'm saying every time I meditate or I do work, I see Buddha. She says, no, that's not true. But one day we did the session together and she saw him too. She said, oh my God, this is true. And she started to cry because she's super connected. She's very well trained. She knows what the real deal is, basically. When I started to see Yeshua, Sananda, I don't know you call it, or Jesus if you want. For me, he introduced himself as Sananda. I've seen Saint Germain. I started to see ascended masters I did not know existed, so I had to do research. For example, Mahakali. I had no
Mhm.
idea who that was because I'm not from this culture. But more surprising, I've seen people who are ascended master, but they are not that famous in the religious world, let's call it like this. Like Nikola Tesla, for example, came
Mhm.
twice. And I saw Gandhi also.
Mhm.
And this was very powerful because it brought a feeling of, so they bring something when you do a session. So Gandhi was bringing peace, but to a level, it's like a veil of peace and harmony and yeah, universal peace. I cannot, you have to experience it to believe it because it's too
Mhm.
hard to explain with human words.
Yeah.
And it's like holograms in front of me, and it's absolutely incredible. Of course, I can take a picture, and people say, "Yeah, take a picture." But the thing is that is what monks describe. It's like you reach such a high state of vibrations, you can access higher dimensions or extra dimensions. I don't know exactly how that works. So there are actually other worlds. It's not just the 3D human worlds as we think. There are more beings to this reality than we think. So we cannot see them because we are too low, but we can see us because they are high and they are looking down at us. And this is absolutely amazing. And this is what people do when we take medicinal plants like ayahuasca or things like that. We can access by cheating because it's basically cheating with higher realms with plants. But I managed to access this just with meditation and cleaning myself up because this was a long journey actually. When I had to clean myself up, it took me 2 years when I understood how that worked. I cleaned myself. I put a lot of work. I was meditating 5 hours a day. I went to see all the practitioners I could. I did crazy rituals. You would think, Patrice, you're crazy. I went to throw rock in trees with monks and stuff like that. I do not know why. I knew it was true, but some stuff was absolutely out of this world. I got a massage with soil. Yeah, because they said, Patrice, you're not grounded. All your mind is not here. You're like, your body is here, but you're completely somewhere else. So they had to bring me back to reality because I was so lost in my monkey mind.
Mhm,
So this was a way for them to bring me back to earth, basically. And the more I was connected, the more I could access my gifts. But
mhm.
it's not really gifts. I don't think it's gifts. I think it's things we studied in past lives. So I still, maybe I'm 10 million years old. I don't know. Because I don't remember everything. And yeah, that's it. And then as I practiced, I refined my gifts and I went to see all the energy workers I could find that were real, but I thought were real because there's many fake ones also. Some people think they do, but they don't do anything. But this is the thing. This is something I put a lot of thoughts on actually 2 or 3 weeks ago because I was reading an article about the placebo effect.
Yes, I was going to ask, that was going to be one of my questions. So thank you for bringing that up.
So this is what's happening. I read a study and this is going to blow your mind. If a doctor, so I'm just talking about placebo effect. If a doctor gives you a pill that's empty, they have like, I don't remember the number. I would have to find back the study to send it to you. I'm going to give random numbers. They are fake. Let's say they have 10% success with the empty pill. If they bring just somebody who is a fake energy worker and does a placebo fake Reiki, they have actually more success rate from that placebo effect because just of the compassion of the person, so that the sick person is taken care of. It's like 30%. It's like the number of healing increases just because you are being listened to and there's a compassionate person next to
Mhm,
you. It's just mind-blowing.
mhm,
And yeah, this is what we do is not placebo effect. This I know, I am 100% sure I can see it in people. People feel energies in their body. They're like, what is this? Is this a microwave? Or they start shaking, or they burp, or they yawn. This is how you can detect if it's real or not real, honestly. If you don't have a physical reaction, this is basically fake. This is very rare. People don't have a physical reaction. And the more you practice or you receive, the more you get sensitive to energies. So this is what's happening. Uh, it's like an onion. We have layers of stuff around us, emotions from this life, the
mhm,
stress from TV, stress from driving, stress from work. And it prevents us from accessing our true selves and feel our body. We are completely disconnected from our body. And this is why most people cannot feel energies. So to reach this state, you need to be clean, clean, clean until you reach this point where you can feel energy. But like me, it can take a long time. It took me 2 years and a trauma. So this can be very challenging, but it's getting faster and faster as the vibration of the planet increases. This is what I've
mhm,
noticed. I do
mhm.
session on groups and I'm like, wow, this is very, very much faster than before. I don't know what's happening, but something's happening.
For sure, for sure. This is incredible, Patrice. You've covered so many things that I was taking notes because I don't want to miss anything important. And the first thing that really struck me, you're just going around leading a life that most people would consider just a regular, normal, doing your thing. And all of a sudden, this is too drastic. Like it's, that trauma happens. And then there's such a big shift. From a human point of view, did any of like the shift itself, did that scare you? How did you like I'm just trying to understand how would I even process something like that where my life just flips so fast and so dramatically?
You cry. I cried so much.
Yeah.
That's fine because if you don't cry, you get sick. This is the thing. You have to let your emotions out. This is what people don't understand, especially men, because we say, "Oh man, you have to be strong. Don't cry." No, no, man, cry. This will prevent you from being stressed and getting sick,
Yeah.
and also getting grumpy and bringing bad emotions in the world.
And and then go ahead. I don't want to
Oh,
interrupt you.
so I want, yeah. So for the shift, so I cried a lot, and then I said, "What do I do? I do not want to do this job anymore. This is bullshit. I'm sorry to use this word. I'm not of service to the humanity. I need to be of service. it was like obvious that it was not the real me. I was just following the programming that have been sold just in school. You have to make money, you have to build a house, you have to have a family, you have to have a car, you have to have a garage. This is bullshit. This is all bullshit. What we need to find is our true selves. And for me, the true self is being of service. This is what makes me happy. So this was a very, very hard journey because this took me a very big leap of faith. I had to give up my job. I let it die slowly. So I was very lucky because I run my own business. I let it die slowly, and I could do the shift of business very in a fluid way. But I actually ran out of money. I was tested by the universe to my limits. And in July of 2023, I ran out of money. I had $150 left. That's all I had. And my wife said, "What are you going to do?" And I said nothing. I had an absolute faith that the universe had my back. And I felt this sun, this heat here. It was like an expansion. It was like, wow. And I kid you not, the next day I started to have clients for this energy work. And people were so happy. It started to have a snowball effect. Of course, it's not instant. Like you still need to walk the path to get there. But I knew this is the right thing to do, and fills me with so much joy when I do a reading. Even people tell me, they say, "Oh my God, Patrice, you're made for this work." I said, "I know." It's like it's my true Patrice. It's like where I can express myself. I can speak my truth. So sometimes I goof around with people. I tell jokes about their disease, and people laugh so hard. It's like I don't know how I do this, but it's like people are sometimes very sick or they're in a wheelchair, but I can laugh about their disease and they laugh with me. And they really love this because they are considered in their journey and it brings them joy. And so it took a leap of faith. So for people who are willing to change career because they know that something is wrong in their life, you will have to take a leap of faith at some point, and it's not easy. I went to see channelers, people who can channel information. So was not given my journey, but I was given a lot of reassurance. Patrice, you'll be fine. The universe has your back. Trust the process. I was kind of skeptical because I was not really in that world of mediums and stuff like this before. I was really just a regular guy. For me, that was all woo stuff. But when you have 3 or 4 people who are from different backgrounds that use the same thing and they don't know each other, you say, okay, there's something behind. There's some truth to it. So I trusted it. I knew it was true. Deep down in your body, you know if it's true or not. And when people tell you the truth, you feel a shockwave in your body. If you listen carefully to your body, you feel a vibration. You know it's true. But you also know when it's fake if you listen very carefully.
I think you just described the purest definition of faith. You know, listening to you, what you went through, that kind of reassurance that the universe has your back. I think that's the simplest definition of faith. And it's very beautiful, Patrice. But, when you first started seeing that, when you were working with your wife and you started seeing those images, I'm curious, how did you connect the dot that's linked to her? Because you didn't even know what those images were. That's just so fascinating to me. The parasite.
Yeah. So when you get a picture, or for me, I get pictures.
Yeah.
So or a photo. Sometimes I get a photo. So it comes with more information than just the picture. It's not just a 2D picture or 3D picture. There's extra dimension to it, and it comes with a lot of information that I don't know how to. It's like extra senses. It's like we don't have 5 senses. We have 10, or I don't know, more. It's packed with messages, and you just know.
And
it's so deep. The level of information is so deep in that picture. The ramification of the picture sometimes even go farther than the person, because you can say, oh, this is from your grandfather, this is you inherited from his DNA. And sometimes and then the person will say, oh yeah, that's true, my grandfather had this.
Yeah. So and another question I have, and this is one of when I first started coming into the health and wellness space, and I started getting introduced to things like Reiki. This was always a question I had for all the practitioners. How do you protect yourself? Like you were talking about the burn in your hand. So is there like a meditation or something you do to control that energy space for yourself? Because we're talking about, when you don't know me and you just did a reading for me before the show, and I will talk about that. That was incredible, Patrice. But you don't know me. You don't know where I'm coming from. You don't know what kind of energies I'm bringing, right? So how do you shield yourself?
This is a very good question. I'm an anomaly on the planet, I will be honest with you. I've worked with people who can see energies, and I'm very different from all the other energy workers they have seen. I have a bubble of protection around me all the time, and they don't know why. So I'm not playing with the same rules as the other energy workers. I'm very blessed. I know I get attacked by entities, what people call entities. It's very hard to describe if you're not in that world, but let's call that extra dimensional beings that come in your field when you work. Because they see your light, they come. People get psychic attacks, panics, and stuff like that when they get attacked, and
Mm-hmm.
even physical pains. I can feel them. Sometimes it's very rare. Honestly, it's very, very rare because I work at a very, very high vibration. Because if you're very high, they're low, they cannot get you,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
If you work from a full place of love and happiness, when you do your work, they cannot get you. This is impossible because they are low
Mm-hmm.
vibration beings. What I would not recommend is to not do healings if you're grumpy, for example, because that is when they will get you, or if you're tired.
Mm.
It's better to say no to a client. I cannot do it. I didn't have a good night of sleep. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not taking you today because my vibration is too low, and you would get attacked that day.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for saying that, because I do not have, definitely I do not have your kind of experience, but even I've noticed sometimes when I get into a zone and I'm praying, afterwards I can get tired, especially if I'm praying for other people. So I have learned that I have to have my energy up before I could even do something simple like that. So I definitely can understand, what you're saying. Patrice,
Well, I wanted to add on this. I'm very, very careful. I was very lucky that my mentor is OCD about cleanness of energy. She was very, very. She trained me like a maniac. Let's call it like this. And I get checked every week, or maybe even twice or 3 times a week by other energy workers to see if I have something, just in doubt. So
yes.
they help me. And also I take good care of myself. You always have to take care of yourself first. So
Mm-hmm.
if I need to get 3 massage a week, I would go get 3 massage. If I need a sound healing, I will go. It's myself first. When I'm fully at my full potential, yes, I can work. Else I do not work. I say no.
I love that. And I love how you said it. The clean, it's like taking a shower, but it's like an energy shower or something like that, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I have this tool. I'm going to show you this. This is what everybody should have in their home, and this is the future of energy shower. But that's going to present because this exists. It's a weighted tuning fork. It
Mm-hmm.
is a heart chakra note. It's 68.05 hertz. So this is what happens if you are, let's say you come back from a day of work and you're tired and your muscles are sore. You just ring it and you just circle it around your aura. You're going to feel your muscle melt, like, and you're going to feel so light. You're going to say, oh my God, what just happened? It's like energy work done the mechanical ways. And this is why monks and churches have bells, because
Mm-hmm.
it clears the debris in your aura. You
Mm-hmm.
are not going to believe how good you feel if you do this when you come back from work every day. Every day, it's going to blow your mind. Honestly, it's like you can find that probably on Amazon for like 20 or 30 bucks.
Yeah.
Uh, we could change the world if every family had this, because you would be less grumpy, less frustrated. You would have less pain in your body, just with this simple tool to this around your body before you enter in your house. It would blow your mind. Honestly, you will feel it physically. I guarantee you. There is a weight being lifted off your body, like whoosh.
Thank you for sharing that very, very precious piece of advice. Sometimes the simplest things give us the most, the impact or the result. So thank you
Yes.
for sharing that,
Yeah,
Patrice.
because it has domino effect. After, if you're in a good mood, everybody's in a good mood in your family, and your neighborhood gets in a good mood because we're all connected.
Yeah, we are connected. And I am learning, what you said earlier about love and joy, that it's so important. I used to think it's so selfish. I'm only thinking about myself, but
Mm-mm.
I've learned that no, when I'm in a joyful state, everything else around me becomes joyful. So I'm doing an
Yeah.
act of service by being happy.
So
Uh,
yeah, this is what I believe, and many there's many podcasts and YouTube channels who talk about this. But many religious texts have been manipulated, and they removed the text where we have to take care of ourselves first.
yeah,
And I believe this is true.
I
This
think
text,
so.
yeah.
And you brought up another very important point, was going to be another one of my questions. You did not grow up religious. So it's
No, not at all.
fascinating to me the kind of visions you've had. And it just makes that all the more genuine. And Patrice, I just want to say, for those who are watching and listening, when I came into this session with you, I had just read about your work, so I didn't really know you. And I had a cold for 2 weeks, so I just have to say it, and when you did offer to do that reading for me, I did not know what to expect. So of course, I'm in this health and wellness space, and I've, I know what Reiki is, I know what energy healing is, but from you, I did not know what to expect because I don't know you. And when you offered to do that, I was like, oh my God. And then you just close your eyes. And this is what fascinated me. You didn't even talk to me, and I felt this massive amount of heat just go through my chest. And then you said to me that I need to free my lungs. And I said, well, I think it's already been freed. I felt the heat go through. That was incredible, incredible. So I really appreciate that.
What's
These,
going to happen? I've been told that. Actually, some clients, because this is what happened in sessions, I clean people very, very fast. This is one of my gifts. It's faster than anything that's on the planet, apparently. Some people who could see energies, because I
mm,
cannot see my work when I work on people sometimes. And I had clients who could see energies, and they said it's so fast, it's so much faster than Reiki. We have never seen anything like this. But this is what happens for many of my clients. They actually get so clean that they activate their gifts, and they can start to be clairvoyant, or some people even start to channel during sessions.
mm,
Uh, this is a new Earth. It's actually coming. What people are talking about, 5D Earth or whatever, Earth 2.0, I don't know you call it in the US. This is happening. The new Earth filled with joy, peace, and
mm,
love.
mm,
It's really happening. It's going to come very soon. And the more I've been working this in 2023, more and more people activate. There's an acceleration of people who reach this state of inner peace where they can activate their psychic gifts, let's call it like this. So basically, without being a monk, they reach that state now. Just regular people. I mean,
mhm.
regular people. We don't have to go in the Himalaya and pray for 20 years to reach that state.
No.
It's really happening. It's happening, but it's very, very fast.
Mhm. And it is happening fast, and you said something important, the new earth. I really believe that. I know we see a lot of pain, suffering, trauma, war, but I really feel that's, how the polarity, right? But I also believe in that light that's shining right now. And through
Oh
all
yeah,
these
it's
gifts,
huge.
it's huge. It's huge. It's just not as well exposed because the
But the
media.
media,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly, right. And so how can we find you, Patrice? You have shared some links with me, so I will definitely be putting that in my show notes, and just making sure that people can have access to you and find you. You are in Europe, so in the US, that puts you at least 5 or 6 hours ahead of us in the East Coast, right?
Yes, so I have sessions for all the world, basically. I have days that I dedicated for the US, so I work from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. In European time. So 7 p.m. is like 10 a.m. for Pacific Standard Time, California. And for the Australians, I have Thursday and Friday where I do morning session, so it's the evening for them. So you will find the time zone. I adapted
Awesome.
my calendar for I
Awesome.
cover the whole globe, so.
That's awesome. And I'm glad you said Australia because a lot of my listeners are in Australia. So I'm glad you said that. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Patrice. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that's on your heart you want to share? Now would be a good time to do that.
Yes, I would like to say, if you want to go very, very fast in your healing journey, stop watching TV. This is the biggest trick to heal fast, is turn off the media, because they are only bringing fear. But in fact, if you look carefully, the world has never been as much as peace as now. Because look at the medieval times, you wanted to go get your bread. If there was a line, you would kill the people in front of you. Right now, it's like, yeah, you're just in a line, you take a ticket, you wait, you talk with people. The media is just trying to make us crazy. And this is what will prevent you from healing. And also, don't forget, we are all connected. And karma is very real also. So be very kind to your neighbor, because if it does not come back to you in this life, it will come back to you in the next life. Because now that we can see past lives easier, more and more people remember their past lives in my sessions too. So I had a guy who actually remembered the past life, and he fainted on his desk. Sorry, he went. That's what happened. 3 minutes. He said, "I remember I got shot." You remember? You knew it was real, because you know it's real when you remember past life. It's actually you see that 360 degrees, and it's more real than this reality. This is what people describe in NDEs. They say this is fake, this is an hologram, and this is hard to believe, but I remember some of my past lives, I relived them, and this is true. This is incredible. I don't even have words, because there's no human words to express this. So you have to have your own first experience to believe. Nobody can make you believe, basically. I'm not even going to try. So just stop your TV and enjoy the ride, and enjoy your life, and be friendly, be kind, and be kind to yourself. This is key. Be kind to yourself first.
Thank you, Patrice. That's awesome advice. And also, just one last question for people that are working with you: how much time can it take in a session? Just so they know.
Usually a session my minimum session is 1.5 hours, but it's not rare that they last 3 hours. It's not time, it's not per hour. I will take the time it takes with clients, because people were too lonely during the lockdown episodes, which was the case of my mother-in-law, and this is basically what killed her, I would believe. That killed her faster, because she was too lonely and nobody could get to her. And I have many people who are lonely, and for them, just even let's say I'm just fake, and then you think people maybe, oh, Patrice is fake, it's just just spending time with these people is healing them, because they are so lonely, and loneliness kills. And there's no time to my session, basically. It would when the energy stops, I tell you there's nothing, because I have my physical limits too. Because you have to. This is James Van Prague, the famous medium in the US, talks about this. He's the only person to talk about this. When you do a lot of energy work, it drains your lymphatic system, and your taste in your mouth just it starts to change. So we cannot do many readings a day. This is not possible. This is not physically possible, because it would drain our system, our lymphatic system, and we would get sick. So I'm limited to 2 a day, basically. If I do 3, I can already start to feel the shift that I pushed off the limit. I'm not a young man. I'm 53 years old. So I'm not old, but I'm not young. So my physicality has its limit, and that's it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I also wanted to say I have groups every Saturday with a protocol. Yeah, with a protocol, because my guides told me. So if you don't believe in guides, we have guides. Told me I needed to have cheap sessions, and they gave me a full protocol for people to release their onion layers about all the stress in their lives and stuff like that, so they can heal faster on their spiritual journey. And every Saturday I do groups. It's very inexpensive and it's incredible. Honestly, groups are never random, because usually when you're in a group, it's people you had past lives with, where something went wrong and you have karma with them. So we heal the group as a collective, and what happens in there is absolutely amazing.
So the link to that is also in your website for the group?
Yes, I only have 2 offers, one-to-one or group. So it's very simple. You have to
Simple.
choose the one you want.
Because I want to make sure that I put all your links out there. So I am very, very grateful for this conversation, Patrice. And thank you for joining me from halfway across the globe this day. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Pooja. It was beautiful. Thank you so much.